Good morning, welcome to Walking Boxing. It is Friday, January the 10th, 2025, and good to be back on home soil. Such a great trip up to the Gold Coast. I'm currently walking along, of course, with my other mate, Neil. He was sort of pushed to the side for a few days with Ronnie taking his place, which was great. Just on Neil, we almost didn't. I almost didn't have a walking partner today because yesterday my wife didn't have a chance to take him for a walk, so he thought he'd take himself for a walk. And we normally have everything nice and tight at home because he's being a rescue dog. In the past he has got a bit restless and tried to get out and to see the world, and he's actually been really good in the last few months. He hasn't tried to get out at all, because when we first got him he was trying to get out all the time and succeeded. So we thought we had him all under control, and my wife went out and he must have found a little gap in a fence or something somewhere and got a bit upset that Tara didn't take him for a walk, and he squeezed through the fence and got out. And it was actually really warm yesterday, and he's not the best traveller. You can probably hear him puffing and panting there probably, but he got out for 2 or 3 hours, and it's really good here actually. I'm sure it's the same in a lot of places where you got community pages and all that sort of stuff. So Tara put it on the local Facebook group, but in the meantime there'd been a post put up by the local post office saying, "Lost dog, does anyone know this dog?" And Tara got a few text messages about it, and what happened was he walked a long way, and I thought he might have actually, because we take different routes every day around our house, that, come on buddy, we're going to go back this way, come on man, he's just struggling a bit today, that he would find his way back. But we got a message from the local post office to say he was at the local post office, and not just at the post office, he just walked in the post office and made himself comfortable on the floor under the fan, I would say. So Tara went down and got him, and he was pretty distressed because he's obviously, bulldogs aren't the best breathers out there, or their snout is not really conducive with hot weather and lots of exercise and stuff. So he'd walked a long way in the direction that we'd never been before. So he's decided that enough of the normal routes, I'll just go my own way, and lucky that he's got no road sense whatsoever. So that's what we were worried about, because there is a road that sort of goes past it. Even though we take the back streets where I walk here, down on the main road, it can get really busy and people fly past there pretty quick, and he doesn't care, he just wanders out. So anyway, so Tara went down to the post office, and there he is on the floor. They'd obviously given him water and everything else, and he's a pretty lovable little dog, so he had a little fan group around him looking after him. But when she rang me, I could hear him in the background puffing, panting and carrying on. So he's on restricted duties today. He's in the doghouse is what he's in. But no, it was just good to get him back, because it's just there's nothing worse than losing a dog. And even though he's microchipped and everything, we don't normally keep a collar on him because he's always at home. And that's what's great about local communities with Facebook groups and everything else. Everyone keeps people in contact with each other. But it's good to have the little fella back. Even just starting the walk this morning, he's sort of struggling a bit. He's had a big adventure. He was under a bit of duress apparently yesterday with the heat and the distance that he walked. It was a fair old effort from the little fella. So he slept well last night, and we'll just take a shorter walk today. But on to the boxing, enough for Neil. Look, I know I've been over it a lot in the other walking boxing episodes with Ronnie and the daily vlogs and the review and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, the whole trip was great. And I've said on here before, it all started when I wasn't quite sure whether I was going to go up. just time of year, and I'd just gotten back from overseas 4 weeks earlier, and I wasn't sort of feeling it, I suppose. And when Mick Francis rang me and said, "Look, are you going to come up?" I was like, "Oh well, yeah, maybe not." And he said, "Yeah, no, you got to come, and I'll look after you and Ronnie." And so yeah, we booked it on a couple of days' notice, and up we went. And look, it was the best thing I've done. It was fantastic. Right, just to the, just getting up to the Gold Coast. It's always great to get up there, isn't it? No, you need no excuse to go to the Gold Coast. And right from the word go, from the first day when we went to the open workouts, the first thing that Mick did was come over and say, look, make sure you get such and such and such and such, and if you can't get them, let me know. And it was just a really accessible event. That first open workout was bloody hot though, I will say, just out in the open at Pacific Fair, but all the fighters didn't whinge. They all did their bit, all got into the spirit of things. There was a really good crowd there. Steve Pios did a really good job as the announcer that day. He would have been feeling it as well because, sorry buddy, stepped on his lead there. He would have been feeling as well because he had to stay out in the sun. So, so that was, and even though I'd been to those sorts of things before, I just had a little bit of a more casual sort of feel about it. Then the next day, which was the press conference and stuff, again, really well done. The only thing was we had two separate places to go for the press conference and the Q&A, which was a bit odd, but no, the press conference was great. I thought both guys really talked it up really well. I thought Eddie Hearn spoke well, Mick spoke well. It was just a really nice, relaxed atmosphere. One thing I liked about it, when I sort of go away by myself, I don't really mix with anybody. I just get there, do my thing, and as I've stated numerous times, I'm not a reporter, so I'm not sort of in the mix trying to talk to all the fighters and promoters and that sort of stuff. I just sort of film from the background, so I get good footage, but it's not, again, I'm not a reporter, so I don't try and get in there and get those interviews. I just film, again, my experience. So I don't really associate with that many people. This way, man. I don't really associate. I just do my thing and sit in the background. Yeah, you might run into a few people here and there, but up there to actually be, in the media pack and to see a lot of people that I follow on social media and they follow me, which is great, and just to have a real good chat with other, contributors, content creators is what I sort of call people these days, because everyone's got different things that they do, but just a really good welcoming group of guys. There was a little bit of hustle and bustle when time for them, all those guys, to get interviews. Of course, you want to get the first one, because by the time you get to, say you've got a Jai Opetaia in line, if you're the 5th or 6th one in line to interview him, by the end of it, he's grumpy at the best of times, as we've spoken about, but when you get to, the 5th or 6th in line, it's not a great interview. So there's a little bit of competition there to get in first with those guys. And because it was, it's just getting close to the fight, they don't really want to talk. So, except for Eddie Hearn, he loves to talk. He'd line up and have 20 interviews in a row if he could. He just loves it. But as I said, it was just a really good group of contributors or content creators. It was just a lot I hadn't seen before, so I don't know who they are or where they were from. A lot of them, it looked like there was a few just independent sort of media creators. I didn't recognise them from any particular site or page or whatever it might be, or channel. They just seemed to be sort of people that turned up and were deciding to be boxing reporters. So look, the more the merrier. I think I said the other day, the only problem with that is that you go to these big events, it's going to get extremely competitive for spots, because you can only fit so many people in. The fighters can only do so many interviews, and that's why I like just to sit in the background and just record it all and do my thing and not get in the hustle and bustle. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a blood sport going forward, I think, the old reporting here in Australia. But really sort of, I must say, got the juices flowing for maybe some other stuff that I might sort of branch out and do. But anyway, so into the weigh-in and everything, it was in what had been a really polite sort of build up by everyone, and it's not low key, but just a nice tempo, I suppose, a nice temperature and everything. It obviously boiled over at the weigh-in. and we got a bit of that aggro, and just being there really, you know, when the guys got in each other's faces, you could just feel the, as I said, the temperature rise. And I think everyone that was maybe a little bit ho-hum about it all and just sort of going through the motions, I think everyone got really worked up over that, especially the fighters, you know, because they knew each other so well. You could tell they were being so respectful to each other. It was just good that day just to see him get in each other's face, and the look in Jai's eyes, it just changed. And to his credit, Nyika didn't take a backward step. It was really good, and a really good turnout. And it was just all the big fights that I've been to, it easily matched the intensity and everything of that. So, and then the next day on fight day, you know, just to go down to the venue, and because they hadn't got our press passes prepared, so you would have seen in the videos if you follow that I hightailed it down there and got the credentials. But you know, just on the day, like even as busy as they were, you know, Mick came out. He was in old shorts and a t-shirt and a fluoro vest, running around doing his thing, and the girls in the office were flat out. But look, they were so great, because look, having done so many, I did 21 promotions myself, so I know how stressful it can be, and that's at a very, very sort of low level compared to something of this magnitude. And I know how stressful it gets, and people are texting you or ringing you or whatever it might be, and you get pretty irritated by it. But Mick came out, couldn't have been any better, and he actually said, come on, I'll take you for a bit of a tour. It took me all around the change rooms, and I sort of found myself there earlier. I sort of took it upon myself to do my own tour. Look, he said, look, come with me, and showed me the change rooms, and we had a quick chat until some idiot decided to blow the music at 100 decibels. But look, just things like that. And again, I know how stressful it can be, and for him and his team to be so upbeat and friendly and everything, it was just really welcoming. And yeah, it was just a great experience. It really was. And then on fight night, of course, what an event that was. You know, just right down to oh geez, there's another dog going past. Yep, come on, buddy. Just a quick little interaction with another dog there. So sorry, I had to quickly pause it. But yeah, no, the fight night was just fantastic, and 5,500 people. The atmosphere in there, like in the lead up to it wasn't too bad. You know, it was just the general or usual sort of fight night, and you know, everyone has their favourites, and you know, it's people just waiting for the main event. But I tell you what, when David Nyika and Jai Opetaia walked out, just the noise in the crowd, and and Nyika had a lot of people there for him as well, and come on, man. And just, especially when Jai come out, you know, we've been at fights, obviously, you know, locals with Tim Zoo and all that sort of stuff. Well, Jai, he's got a big following as well. And when he came out, it was just electric. It really was. And Jai adds to it too, because he's got that steely look in his eyes. It does remind me, I know I keep going on about it, but about his, you know, his attitude, and excuse me, but when he walked to the ring, it had Mike Tyson vibes of the 80s and 90s. That's what it was like. And he's just got that seek and destroy sort of mentality. And when he got in the ring, and it really was electric. I know I've gone over this in the review, but you know, what are you doing there, buddy? And you know, when the fight started, and the fact that David Nyika stood and traded with Jai really got the crowd up and about. I said again in my review that in hindsight, obviously it wasn't a great idea, because it played right into Jai's hands. He was up for as he called it, the dog fight. And even in the interviews in the change rooms, he said he went back to after the first round and said, all right, well, I think he's here to fight. This is what he said to his dad. I think he's here to fight, Dad. And his dad said, yeah. And he said, well, let's go, you know. So, and again, I just thought that Jai was a lot more relaxed and composed during those exchanges. If you watch the fight back, Nyika was just getting really just caught up in the whole thing, I think, and really exerting a lot of energy. And Jai was just composed, and just kept picking his shots. He's a little bit wild a few times. I think I've spoken to a few people that agreed that, he did get a little bit wild. He got a little bit caught up. You don't often see Jai Opetaia really loading up and throwing bombs and missing, and you know, probably throwing shots that aren't necessarily the right shot to throw. But look, that's just part and parcel of the game. We see all the best fighters do that. And but the thing is, as I said again in the review, that he did what A graders do and just eliminated the threat. And that's why I'm so impressed about with Jai. Just a all-round A grader. So I won't dwell on it too much because again I've gone over it so many times. But the event itself, we actually just getting back to the fight as well. Actually, I think there was a fight in the crowd or something afterwards. We actually went across to McDonald's in Broadbeach there after the fight. Just Ronnie and I, it was about midnight, and we hadn't eaten since about 10 o'clock that morning, so we thought we'd go in and grab a burger, and Nyika's team actually came in, and we actually got talking to, I think it's his brother, and you'll know the one I'm talking about because when the guys faced off, he was the one trying to rile Jai up. If you haven't seen it, have a look. He's a little fella trying to get in, and he's yelling at Jai something, and he's the one I said in one of the videos, he's lucky he didn't get a left hook while he was in Jai's face while they were doing the face off. But he ended up being a really, really nice guy. He was. I think he just got caught up in the moment as well, as a lot of the team members do. And he was telling us that, you know, first of all, David was okay. That was the first thing. And he just said, look, you know, they knew they were up against it, but David wanted to have a crack, and it was obviously pretty scary when he went down. But he said, look, the only thing that really upset him was the peanuts in the crowd. He said they were throwing stuff at him and really taunting him, and then of course we had the little bit of a fracas in the as well, not just up in the stands that I saw, but also around ringside. So it's not what you want to see. But look, all that aside, he said, look, you know, David took it in good stead. And it was actually good because he said, I really appreciate, you know, asking how David is and all that sort of stuff. And it was a really good little chat in a dirty, stinking, disgusting, untidy McDonald's. I don't go to McDonald's that often. I don't want to get stuck in McDonald's, but I know it was about midnight, but geez, it was disgusting. Just shit everywhere. Anyway, that's a different story. That's up to the manager to clean the joint up. Not the McDonald's I remember back in the day going for my Happy Meal and the birthday parties. Anyway, that's how often I go to Macca's. But anyway, you know, and then yesterday at the airport, we didn't do the walking boxing because one, I'd just done the review, but two, this little fella was missing, and I was a little bit concerned about him, so I was on the phone to my wife. So that's why I didn't do one yesterday, guys. But I thought the fact that you know, I've done so many videos and I've done the review that we could make two without a day. But look, all in all, guys, the whole thing was just awesome. You know, again, the access that I got, I've never really had that access before. I've had media passes, but to be invited into the change rooms, you know, to be invited in by the promoter to really, you know, go into this things like going into their office and the promotions room and the merchandise room and all that sort of stuff. And it was really good. And again, even though I've done it at a smaller level, to go into where it happens on the big stage was just great. And I just can't thank Mick Francis and his wife Fran enough for what they did, not just for me and Ronnie, but all the other creators out there, because talking to them, excuse me about the frog in my throat today, guys, but as I cough straight into the microphone. Sorry about that. I thought I was doing it away from the camera. But yeah, all the other creators were all saying the same thing. Just how relaxed and that the whole thing was, and yeah, so it's a credit. I know I've sung their praises a lot, but I just like to acknowledge it where it's due, because I've been to plenty of promotions where, yeah, they don't really, well, they almost see you as an inconvenience, and they just don't give you much. But it was just a breath of fresh air. But again, I've gone on about that numerous times, haven't I? So look, now we're back to reality. What's next? I did see that it looks like there's going to be a show with No Limit on March the 1st, and then I think they're going to do a big one a month later in early April. So that's something to look forward to. I couldn't get too much out of everyone, but I've got a feeling it'll be Nikita, and I reckon April might be Tim. Sorry, guys. I'll cough the other way. But I reckon April might be Tim. I reckon March might even be Nikita. We'll see. And then of course we've got George Kambosos. He's fighting in March as well in Sydney. So plenty of big things happening in Australian boxing. It's just absolutely fantastic at the moment, and can't wait. And just going up to this, I know all events aren't going to be the same, by the way, but I must admit I've really got a little bit of desire now to go to even more fights. Normally I go to 2 a year, mainly overseas, but I'm thinking about maybe, you know, I'll just take this harness off in there, about maybe getting to a few more of the Aussie fights and covering them like I did with this one. Let's see if No Limit welcome me into the fold like Tasman Fighters did. I've had a bit to say over the years, but look, they do a great job as well. So it'd be great to go and cover all their events and you know, branch out a little bit more. But yeah, just a great trip, and just walked into the gate at home. It's a warm one today too. It's going to be so. That's why it was just a short walk for Neil. But thanks again to everyone who came along for the journey. It meant a lot, all the comments and messages that I got. It's really, you know, for all the hard work that we put in, it's great when you get you know, some of the things that you guys send me and say. It's just really makes it worthwhile. So again, I really appreciate every one of you, almost 2,000 people that subscribe to us on the channel and follow us religiously and appreciate what we do. So guys, have a great Friday, great weekend, and we'll catch you tomorrow.